Welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity Weekly Meeting. Today's meeting, September the 29th. We're getting into the end of September, getting in October, November, December. So literally the last 3 months, 90 days of the year are right upon us. We need to get as much done in any period of time, but especially these next weeks leading up to Thanksgiving. Those are some prime time activity periods that we can get action and intention into it, and then B, on the backside, get some results and some of the things that we're looking for on the backside. Last week, you guys, we talked about preparing for that super cycle that we've all been, analyzing, preparing for, talking about. It's right upon us, guys. We need to prepare for that. The real value of residual income, what actually that means to somebody's personal financial situation, adopting a factory pattern to your business, leaving old mindsets behind, the value of exact strategies for clients, and locking in partners with ownership. So once again, if you have partners coming in, just because a meeting might be weeks or a few months old, does not necessarily mean there's not pertinent information in there for them. And I try to kind of organize what's in each meeting with the description. So this week, we're really talking about preparing for growth. We've been talking about getting ready for, analyzing what's going on, and we need to make sure that we're in a position for our clients, our partners, our organization, our team to absorb what's coming down the way, because having, exponential growth is great, but if you can't absorb it in an orderly way, it's kind of pointless. So outside of what's been going on internally from a company, a team's perspective, which is in itself really, really, really exciting, you also have the macroeconomic environment going on right now, which there's a great migration of people that we talk about that are on the move right now for various reasons. The reasons are different for different types of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that overall, when you look at it, that you don't have the best opportunity right now to go out and start talking to people about one thing: helping them get what they want. So realize, as people hit the exits on jobs, industries, sectors, opportunities, they're on the lookout. They want something different. They want something new. They want something that comes with a checklist of things they need. You learn how to talk to people about giving them what they want, getting the commitment from them to get it done. This is an excellent opportunity to be really out there looking for talent, because there's no better time in history right now to be a marketer, networker, entrepreneur. So if you're talking to somebody about the business opportunity and they don't believe this environment is extreme with potential right now, you're talking to the wrong person. Like I said, all you've got to do is identify and bring in talent. When we talk about how do we do that, we do that by talking to people about what they want, showing them a path to get there, making sure they understand along the way what's required of them, what we're offering, make that commitment from both sides to get it done. If there's interest but no commitment, we talked about this before, that's not a valid or potential good partner for you, because interest wanes, and you can come into any type of thing and be excited about something from the pure interest standpoint. But once the interest starts to wear off, they drift. You have to have the commitment to see it through and get it done. Discipline equals dollars right now. And that's always been our mantra. But right now, especially right now, if you can dig in and you can be disciplined and you can teach other people how to do that, there is a monetary windfall on the back of this. And it's not at the expense or the backs of other people. We are going to create extreme wealth on both sides of the fence, both for our clients as well as for our partners. The discipline has to have enough time to compound. I've seen people come in very, very strong starts, but then they don't continue with that energy, intention, and action. You've got to take the discipline and you've got to give it a little time to compound to give you the foundation for something that actually has meaning. The foundation has to be in place for the growth. You have the growth with no foundation. We talked about that. What's the point of that? One of the things that greatly helps us help our partners is to understand that there's going to be a strategy. There's going to be a vision in place. What are they trying to create? But then when we actually dig down deep into the execution side, we find that gap between the strategy and the execution. There's a lot of money there. So what we can do from our personal standpoint, as well as our ability to coach and mentor other people is if we can bridge that gap, if we can shorten that gap between strategy and execution, there's money there to be made. So understand the strategy and the execution, the gap, close the gap. There's a lot of money there. And you close the gap by making sure that you understand the things that are going to stand in your way. I'm not going to go through this entire list, but this business works. If it's not working for us, we just need to change ourselves. And that's going to come from, analyzing ourselves, realizing that we have personality defects. Sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves. Sometimes we put up roadblocks, obstacles because we don't think we're worthy of success. Whatever it is that's holding us back from gapping strategy and execution and bridging that gap, make sure you identify it and then get rid of it, because the easier it is on yourself to fix yourself, the easier it's going to be to help you fix other people. Because really, when we talk about coaching and mentoring people, a lot of times that's going to come from a lot of this, making sure they understand what's standing in their way. Most of the time it's themselves, and how to get out of their own way. There's a lot going on right now. There's things that matter. There's things that you can control. And then what you should focus on is the sweet spot of those two intersections. If you get caught day after day after day, just wasting times on things that don't matter or things that you don't control, then you're going to find out that, you'll create that white space on that calendar, you'll drift, and you won't get much accomplished. There's a lot of things that you can put your energy, intention, and action into that get absolutely no result. Your time as an investment has to be on a return. Once again, things that matter, things control, the sweet spot between those two, things that you should focus on. You can't bring in partners, and we ourselves can't treat this like a hobby, because if you treat your business like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. Hobbies don't make you money, and they're usually very, very expensive. If you don't get serious about your money, you'll never have serious money. This is saying the same thing. You've got to understand this is a gigantic business opportunity. This is a macro event happening right now that's changing the way that we get to operate. And it's changing the way that we operate in a way that's going to have a huge positive ripple effect, like I said, on both sides of our business, for the client as well as the partner. But if you're not serious about it, you're not organized about it, you don't bring a work ethic to the plate, then it's not going to happen for you. And you have to be able to identify in other partners if they're going to be able to treat this like a business or a hobby. You got to be focused, stick to the plan. One of the things that we talked about before is panic management leads to nothing. And the way that you avoid panic management is you get disciplined, you get organized, and you stick to the plan and stay focused. One of the ways that we've really been talking about, and one of the things that I'm trying to work on for myself, is time blocking. When you have activity that needs to be done on a personal level, on a managerial level, on an organizational level, if you don't really go into the day and block out time for certain things, you'll find that the day kind of gets away from you. So that old saying, either you run the day or the day runs you. Time blocking gives you the ability to run the day. You can be busy or you can be effective. And once again, busy doesn't necessarily make you money. Effective does. So understand what's busy, what's effective, what's important, what's the most direct task. They're going to lead me to income producing activities, which leads to the income, and then leave all the other stuff, the tier 2 activity, till later. If you don't get the tier 2 activity done, but you get the tier 1 activity completed, great. If it's the other way around, it's going to cost you money. And remember, when you're looking at what you need to do, there's important and urgent. There's important but not urgent. There's urgent but not important. And there's not important and not urgent. So you need to know how to categorize, what's going on, your problems, your activities. And once again, going back to what we've been talking about in the 12-week year, 12-week year is an important process because it teaches us things like A, what to do, but also as important, B, what not to do. So you have to organize your day, organize your situation, activities, and problems into what's really important that has to be done now versus what's not so important that can be done later. Remember, this is our job. We got to bring in the people. We got to bring in the clients. We got to bring in the partners, the process, the product. Everything is lined up for us. If you can bring in the right people as far as the right type of clients and the right type of partners, this is an explosive opportunity that we're sitting on, and we don't have to wait for it. It's right here. We're at the cusp of it. You just have to go out and do your job. And really that stems back to the lead generation process. We've been working on this. We've been trying things. And when you look at the lead generation process, you want to build a top of the funnel that gets as many people into a yes formula as possible. And through the process of what we've been able to create, that traffic, we're able to monetize it on the front side, and then on the back side, monetize it even further. But we lead with value. We don't lead with products, services, recruiting, business opportunities. We lead with something that will help that person right then and there. And all we're asking for is an opt-in. That creates the leads. Combination of automation plus what we do manually takes care of everything on the backside. So basically the lead generation is very easy. Stranger goes to the website, visits the website, finds whatever we're offering of value, fills out the form, downloads it, creates the lead. Pretty simple, guys. When you have partners coming in and you're looking at certain types of personas, especially on the partner side, we live in the era of big data. So when somebody says, I don't have anyone I talk to, I don't have any leads, well, that means really what you're saying is you're unwilling to go out there and manufacture the leads yourself. It's one of two ways, guys. Either it's paid marketing where you invest money into marketing for yourself and you have a cost of acquisition, you have a return on investment, and you understand what flows through there. Or if there's no money spent, that's sweat equity. Sweat equity comes from manufacturing the demand on the front side. And like I talked about, it's not very hard when you're leading with value. It gives you a position of power, takes some of the stress of of leading these conversations off your shoulders. At the end of the day, you just have to understand, what are the sources of my leads? What is the expectations of those sources? And what are the actual results? Is that lead source working or is it not? And once again, if you make data-driven decisions and teach other people how to do the same, your business will flourish. If all of you are making emotional decisions, then your business is probably going to fail. So the big question is constantly, how do we position ourselves and our product to sell to our ideal customer, whether that's the business opportunity for partners or whether that's the products and services for the client? How do I position myself? Well, you have to learn how to master the art of starting the conversation. Some of us are very good at this. Some of us are not. Doesn't matter if we are good or if we're not good, we can learn and become skillful at this. And really, like I said, when you're leading the conversation with the way that we're leading the conversation, becomes a lot easier because it's no longer me, 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 me. Look at this, look at this, look at this. It's, hey, I've got something for you. So you need to stop selling. You need to start interviewing, talking to people. Once again, if you get into the habit of opening conversations, talking to people, asking questions, let them give you the information, you can uncover problems. You can lead with solutions and action steps once that has been uncovered. Up until that time, you don't really know what's going on. So stop selling people, start talking to people and interviewing people. And like I've told you before, we've tried to bring this down to a very simplistic approach. This is what you need to become great at with approach and language. Hey, you are X, here's why. You're a homeowner, here's a guide that tells you how to pay your mortgage off early. You're an insurance agent, here's a guide that tells you how to sell more insurance and make more money. You're a real estate agent, here's a guide to tell you how to sell more homes and make more money. So you are X, here's why. And that creates lead generation. And through the process of what we have, like I said, in the automation with the manual work you guys put in, leads are created, leads are resolved, revenue is recognized, and growth is there. This creates alignment and engagement. When you know who you're trying to target and why, and you have that conversation and language that really, directs to them exactly who they are, and that language in terms of, who you are and why you're trying to help them, that engagement creates everything that you need. So the alignment of the persona plus the engagement with the persona creates quality conversations. You're not just blanketed, you're not just throwing out blanketed conversations to whoever will listen. You're pinpointing people, you are directing conversation to them for a specific reason, for a specific need they probably either have or you perceive they have. What you have to understand is, even if you're giving away stuff on the front end to create leads, you always have to anticipate resistance. People just resist things. Your goal is, as you're talking to people and as you're uncovering information, is to get your prospect talking about goals and problems. It's not products, services, business opportunities. It's about your prospect. What are their goals? What are their problems? Get them talking. And then what you ultimately want to do is not sell anything else but the appointment, the education, not the product or service. Hey, this was something that you took. Let's expand on that e-guide, book, whatever it might be, into an educational meeting to teach you more about whatever that why was. How to pay off your mortgage early, how to sell more insurance and make more money, how to sell more homes and make more money, whatever that is. Everything's leading down to that educational meeting, because we know if we educate our clients and our partners correctly, good things will happen for us. On the second tier of lead generation is follow-up. You can create all the leads you want, but if you're not good at follow-up, you're going to be in the lower income brackets as we move forward. And that's not, anything other than statistical analysis. People that don't follow up make far less money and have far less growth than the people who are actually organized in the follow-up. So you need to have a follow-up strategy. You need to understand what you do, why, how, what the platforms or the media is that you use to reach people. And then secondarily, you need to understand that the follow-up timing is oh so important, because if a new lead is created and that new lead sits there for days, by the time you get to them, they're probably not even sure what the original inquiry was about. So understand and implement this into your organizational build out. The fortune is in the follow-up, and the quicker that you get to these people on inquiry, the easier it is to resolve. Follow-up versus dump truck. Remember, we follow up for one person or for one reason and one reason only. That's to lead to the next action steps, not for a bunch of extra languages about that. Whatever I'm trying to do, and you need to understand when you're following up, whether it's a text, email, or phone call, you need to have an objective of that text, email, or phone call. And it's usually leading to the next action step, whether that's the educational meeting or something else. We're leading to them. So yes, we're following up, but we're not following up just for the reason of following up. We're following up to lead them to the next action step. And one of the easiest ways to do that is frame the conversation, let people know, because they're either going to fall in line or give you a reason why they can't. You have to take action at this time, guys. This is the most important key piece of time in the last several years since we've been doing this. Action is the fundamental key to all your success. Start making moves now. I don't care if they're good moves, bad moves. You'll learn from the bad ones. Just start making moves right now, because the moves will lead to results. You can't have any results if you don't have activity on the front side. Not a hard equation to understand, but if you do understand that, intention, action, activity, organization, time management, all of those are a recipe for results. You have to see yourself in terms of what's your purpose. And one of the easiest ways to make this business a lot easier for yourself and your partners is once you start to understand that you are an educator, whether you're marketing the business or actually doing the education and sales on the backside, we're all educators, and educators are trying to inform, teach, give people information necessary to improve their lives. Another point of an educator, and another kind of thing to understand, is anything that works against you can also work for you once you understand the principle of reverse. So once again, money's always in movements, flowing for us, against us, working for us, working against us. Just because it's maybe working against us right now doesn't mean it always has to continue with that flow. Same thing when you're talking to partners. If they're in a bind right now, they're not finding the success in whatever industry they're in, doesn't always have to be like that. Where you are today, good, bad, or ugly, it's not necessarily an indicator of where you might be tomorrow. Education also leads to referrals. And this is when you're a salesperson, you're asking for referrals, it's harder. When you're an educator and you're asking for referrals, it's easier. Most people ask for referrals too soon. So you have to position yourself accordingly. You got to establish and provide value. That value also has to be recognized, and then you ask for the referral. We got valuable information. It's as easy as saying, who else do you know and care about that needs to know this information? You also need to analyze your competition, whether it be industry specific or just outside online digital marketers. Understand what people are doing on both sides. Hey, what's working? What's catching your attention? What's not working? And learn from both sides of that. One of the things that our competition in terms of online and digital marketers do is they're able to paint a picture. They're able to still believe in and sell the American dream, which I still believe is alive and well. It's just changed and morphed a little bit. So it's not about working just hard anymore to get to our goals and dreams. It's about working smart. American dream's still alive and well. They also are very, very good at painting the picture of the power of possibility coupled with the fear of missing out. These two things are very, very powerful in marketing, conversation, and presentation. We've got a very, very, very powerful digital franchise opportunity with information, products, and services that are desperately needed today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, the rest of this decade. So understand where you are right now, understand the opportunity, and then realize that if you want a 7-figure business, if you want nationwide distribution of technology and education, back-end financial services, who says you can't have that? No one. This is an excellent opportunity for us to redefine the financial futures of ourselves, as well as our clients that we go out and educate, the partners that we bring on. Because at the end of the day, what do you want to become and what price are we willing to pay today to get there? Remember, Grant Cardone says, pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. If we understand the opportunity and if we understand the time horizon of what's happening right now and over the next 9, 12 plus months, and things aren't manufacturing from your side, your partner's side, your client book of business, whatever it might be, you've really got to analyze what's holding you back and fix that. Because like I said, the business does work. We just have to fix ourselves. That's it for this week, guys. I'll see you next week. And then if anybody has anything they need help with, most all the time, if you're working, we're available. Text, email, call. We'll help you out.